There is a decision sitting in your mind right now unfinished. You've been circling it for weeks, maybe months, you research it endlessly, you make pro and con lists, you ask for advice. But when it's time to actually decide, you freeze. And I need to tell you something that psychology has proven. Your inability to finish this decision isn't about lacking information. It's about what making that decision would cost you. And today, we're going to understand why your brain keeps you stuck in this loop and what that really means about you. Let me explain what's happening inside your decision-making process. Most people think they can't decide because they don't have enough information, so they research more, they read more articles. They watch more videos, they ask more people. But here's the truth that neuroscience reveals: you are not gathering information, you are gathering permission. Your brain has a fascinating feature called analysis paralysis, but I prefer a different term. You are a professional postponer, and this isn't laziness, this is protection. Think of decision-making like crossing a bridge. Most people see the bridge, check if it's stable, and walk across. It takes them maybe 5 minutes. But your brain treats every decision like an engineering project. You're not just checking if the bridge is stable. You're calculating the wind speed, the weight distribution, the structural integrity of every bolt, and running simulations of what happens if the bridge collapses. But here's where it gets fascinating. All of that analysis isn't really about the bridge. Psychologists have identified that chronic indecision is rarely about the decision itself. It's about 3 deeper fears that your brain is desperately trying to protect you from. Your brain is not randomly keeping you stuck. There are 3 specific costs your subconscious has calculated, and until you understand them, you will never finish this decision. First, the cost of identity death. Every major decision requires you to kill a version of yourself. That job you need to quit, that relationship you need to leave, that city you need to move from, that career you need to change. When you make that decision, a part of who you are dies, and your brain treats identity death like physical death. It will do anything to avoid it. You're not afraid of the wrong choice. You're afraid of becoming someone you don't recognize. That version of you who stayed in the comfortable job, who kept the familiar relationship, who lived in the safe city, that person has to die for the new version to live. And grief, even for a version of yourself that never fully existed, is real. Your brain keeps you researching because as long as you're researching, both versions of you can exist simultaneously. The moment you decide, one has to die. Second, the cost of responsibility. Right now, in this state of indecision, you are blameless. If things are bad, it's not your fault. You haven't chosen yet. But the moment you decide, you become the author of your own story. You can no longer blame circumstances, other people, or bad timing. Psychologists call this decision accountability anxiety. If you choose the job and it fails, that's on you. If you choose the relationship and it ends, that's on you. If you choose the path and it's wrong, that's on you. Right now, you're suspended in a state of plausible deniability, and your brain loves that safety. Indecision is a shield against regret. Third, and this is the most misunderstood cost, the cost of closing doors. Human beings are wired for FOMO, the fear of missing out. Every decision you make closes a door. Choose one job, lose the others. Choose one city, abandon the rest. Choose one path, eliminate the alternatives. And your brain hates closed doors. There's a famous psychology experiment where people were given 2 doors. Behind each door was a small reward. Participants could click on either door as many times as they wanted. Then researchers introduced a twist. If you didn't click on a door for a while, it would start to disappear. Guess what happened? People panicked. They started clicking on doors just to keep them open, even when it meant earning less money overall. That's you. You're not deciding because deciding means watching doors disappear. And your brain would rather exhaust you keeping all doors open than accept that some paths will never be taken. Here's what happens when you stay stuck in chronic indecision. Psychological research shows that the state of limbo is more painful than making the wrong choice. Living in maybe drains more energy than living in yes or no. You think you're protecting yourself by not deciding, but you're actually torturing yourself. Every day you don't decide, your brain burns energy maintaining multiple possible futures. It's like running 10 different simulations simultaneously. You become mentally exhausted, emotionally numb, and physically drained. You might not even realize why you're so tired all the time. It's because part of your brain is living in 5 different timelines at once. And here's the painful irony. The decision you're avoiding isn't actually that complicated. Strip away all the research, all the pros and cons, all the advice. Deep down, you already know what you want to do. You've probably known for weeks, but knowing and choosing are two different things. Knowing is safe, choosing is terrifying because choosing means stepping into the unknown, and your brain treats the unknown like a predator. So what do? You stop pretending this is about information, because it's not. You have enough information. What you lack is courage, and courage doesn't come from knowing more. Courage comes from accepting three fundamental truths. First, accept the grief. That version of you that takes the other path, that person is going to die. And you need to mourn them before you can move forward. Write down who you're saying goodbye to, what dreams are you releasing, what possibilities are you closing. Give yourself permission to feel sad about the life you're not choosing. This isn't weakness, this is completion. Second, accept the responsibility. The moment you decide, you become accountable. And that's terrifying, but here's the shift. Responsibility is not a burden. Responsibility is power. Right now, you are powerless because you're waiting for the universe to decide for you. You're hoping circumstances will force your hand so you don't have to choose, but that's giving your power away. The moment you choose, even if it's wrong, you reclaim your agency. You become the author, not the victim. Third, accept the closing doors. This is the hardest one. You have to let some paths die, and not just die, but die without knowing what was behind them. You will never know what would have happened if you took the other job, stayed in the other relationship, moved to the other city. And that uncertainty will haunt you. But here's the truth, you can't live multiple lives, you only get one. And the cost of trying to keep all doors open is that you never walk through any of them. I need you to understand something. You think you're afraid of making the wrong decision, but psychology shows that's not what people regret most. The decisions that haunt people at the end of their lives aren't the ones they made. It's the ones they avoided, the job they were too scared to take, the relationship they were too afraid to leave, the move they were too comfortable to make, the dream they were too practical to chase. Research on end-of-life regrets is consistent. People don't regret their failures, they regret their hesitations. Your brain is trying to protect you from pain, but it's protecting you from the wrong pain. It's protecting you from the pain of a bad decision. But what it should be protecting you from is the pain of no decision, the pain of staying stuck, the pain of living in perpetual maybe. That pain is worse, and it lasts longer. The decision you're avoiding isn't going to get easier. More information won't help, more time won't help, the bridge isn't going to get more stable, the path isn't going to get clearer. At some point, you just have to walk, and here's what happens when you finally do. The moment you decide, the weight lifts, not because you made the right choice, but because you made a choice. Your brain can finally stop running multiple simulations. You can finally live in one timeline instead of 10. So here is my challenge for you. Tonight, finish the decision. Not by gathering more information, not by making another pro and con list, but by asking yourself one question: if I knew I only had 1 year to live, which path would I take? Your answer to that question is your decision. Everything else is just noise.